Alrighty guys, what's going on everybody? Welcome back here to another live stream, my friends. Hope everyone is doing well. Good to have you guys here. So, well, we got a lot of stuff going on here, my friends. A lot of, actually, winter weather and severe weather that is expected to kick off here. Let me go ahead and switch on over here, my friends. What's up, everybody? Welcome, welcome. I do have to give a big shout-out to Jazz, because in the beginning of the stream, before we started, Jazz donated a $10 super chat. So thank you so much, Jazz. Once again, I appreciate your support. I told Jazz I would shout them out before we dive on into it. So everybody in chat, please give Jazz a big thank you for the support. Greatly appreciated. Let's see who we got here today. We got Ohio, we have Booze, we have Mark, we have Crystal, Jazz, we have Azin, we have JW, Polly, Uranus, let's see, William, Proxy. What's up, Prox? Hope you're doing good. Angelina, Catloaf, and Liam. Of course, everybody else who is here, but just not chatting. Hope everyone is doing good. So, all right, we got a lot of stuff to talk about, my friends. So, first of all, the big thing that they actually just did, and I just now noticed before I went live, is they actually upgraded the severe weather threat for today. We are actually in a slight risk today. We are in a level 2 severe weather threat for today. Now, they actually, unfortunately, or the reason that they did this, unfortunately, is for tornadoes. Unfortunately, we do have a 5% chance here for tornadic activity. Let's go ahead and turn on these town names here so we can go ahead and overlay those. So we do have a tornado threat for today, for tonight, across portions of Tennessee and Kentucky. Now, unfortunately, this is going to be a relatively a nocturnal threat for severe weather. Looking at the radar right now, actually hopping over here to the radar, you can see we do have a little bit of storm activity popping off, but at the moment, it is not severe. I mean, currently we do not have any active warnings currently. There's no active warnings at the moment. So, I mean, yeah, we definitely need to keep an eye on the radar and stuff and keep an eye out there for those storms. But as of now, we are looking pretty good. It looks like we do have a little bit of storm activity out by Bowling Green. Just a little bit of thunderstorms popping off here. You know, nothing super crazy or anything like that. But anyways. So we'll definitely keep it out there for that. And so this is going to be just relatively a normal update live stream here for you guys, in which we will get into coverage if need be. If we do need to be, we'll definitely get into the coverage here. Hold on a minute. Proxy, I just now saw your notification come through. I don't know why my phone was being so slow, but Proxy just donated $75 on Venmo. Proxy, thank you so much for that. Saying thanks for being awesome, Andrew. Proxy, no you. Thank you so much, Prox. Huge shout out goes to you, Proxy, for the 75. That's crazy, man. Thank you. Huge shout out, Proxy. And of course, if there's anything I can do for you, please let me know. I really appreciate your support, though. It helps me out a ton. So seriously, thank you so much, Proxy. You are the best. Thank you very, very much. So yeah, what I was talking about though is we do have, like I said, a 5% chance for tornadoes, which includes like the Bowling Green, Hopkinsville, Kentucky area. It doesn't mean those areas will get a I should probably switch my scenes here. It doesn't mean that those areas will get tornadic activity. It just means that the environment is capable of producing tornadoes in that general region. Now, the 5% chance, that it's not the lowest tornado threat. I mean, it's nothing super crazy. It's not like, tornado outbreak material or anything like that, but it is a possibility for a couple of tornadoes, okay? So just please be careful. We're going to keep an eye on it. Once again, we're just going to do a normal update live stream right now. We'll do our normal update, and I'm going to be on standby tonight. So if there is any tornado warnings or anything like that that does get issued, we will immediately go live. That way we will be able to cover that, okay? That's the plan. That's the game plan tonight. So don't be surprised if we do, like I said, don't be surprised if we do end up going live again later on. But anyway, so yeah, a 5% chance. That's across Kentucky. The main threats in Kentucky, we do have a little bit of that tornado threat for the central and northern portions of Tennessee as well. Damaging winds, got a 5% chance. A little bit of gusty winds on those storms can be possible. And we are talking the potential of some of those gusts being within the realm, relatively right around 60 miles an hour or so. So those gusts could get up to right around 60 miles per hour. In terms of hail, so yesterday they did not have a hail threat we were talking about, but they actually added a 5% chance for hail today, across portions of southeastern Missouri, very far southeast Missouri, very far southern Illinois, very far southern Indiana. This covers the majority of the state of Kentucky here. Overall, and of course we do have like western, kind of southwestern and western West Virginia. It's a lot of west, but yeah, western West Virginia is in that that hail threat as well. A little bit of far Appalachian Plateau of Virginia, far southwestern side, and like we mentioned, also Tennessee is in that risk there as well. So in terms of hail today, there is going to be the possibility where we could have some hailstones right between the range of around 1 to 2 inches in diameter. So there is going to be that possibility. But yeah, of course, the main concern today is going to be, unfortunately, tornadoes. We'll keep an eye on it once again, like I mentioned, for the people who have not seen it yet. This is active radar. This is current radar right now. Really not a lot of anything crazy going on. I mean, we do have some storms popping off. Got a little bit of thunderstorm activity out there by like Bowling Green, but at the moment here, it's actually relatively calm. But we'll definitely keep an eye on it. And once again, we will be on standby today in order to go live if we need be. So, all right, let's hop back over here. We got some more stuff to talk about. So, like we mentioned, that's the severe weather side of things. They actually added a lot more winter weather advisories since yesterday. So the winter weather advisories extend all the way from eastern Nebraska all the way up to Maine. You guys can see how large of a field this is. So winter weather advisories, they range per location. They're different for every location here. But the good news is that, these are not winter storm warnings. Let me double make sure that we don't have any winter storm warnings on. Make sure that they're actually turned on here. Yeah, we don't have any active winter storm warnings here in the area. So this is all going to be basically like, the lower end stuff. It's still going to be impactful for a lot of folks, but it's not going to be anything like super duper significant. However, that only applies to some locations. So if you look in the yellow here, you might have noticed we do have a lot of yellow polygons here. These are, ice storm warnings here. I almost said freeze warnings. They're ice storm warnings in effect. So these areas are going to be seriously impacted by this winter weather, which this does include areas of like the upper elevations of eastern West Virginia. This also does include a pretty good chunk of like southwestern, kind of west central Pennsylvania here included there. Got a little bit of like central and western Maryland included. I know the state lines are a little bit hard to see because of the polygons and stuff, but also a little bit of like northern Virginia too is in the ice storm warnings, which it does range. And of course we do have like the Shenandoah Valley, which is in that as well, or the mountaintops of the Blue Ridge, I should say. But yeah, look at this total snow and sleet accumulations up to 1 inch, ice accumulations between 2 and 3/10 of an inch. So it takes about 1/4 of an inch to really start knocking the power out. So that's going to be one of the main concerns here that we're going to have to look out for, is going to be those power outages. That is going to be a problem. Of course, the freezing rain really, really weighs down not only the power lines, but also, trees and branches, which, could snap, fall on more power lines, and just, could be problematic. So that's going to be starting here tonight. Actually, it might already be going on here. Let's go ahead and hop away over to radar here real quickly. Let's go ahead and turn on our winter weather radar precipitation typing. Go ahead and turn that on. We're going to hop to Northern Virginia real quick. So, yeah, it does look like we do have maybe a little bit of activity starting to occur out there. It does look like areas in Ohio right now are dealing with the freezing rain and stuff, which is indicated in the pink here. There's a lot of pink on the map here, so that's that is indicating that there is a lot of freezing rain and whatnot. The green, just normal rain, and of course the pinkish color is basically the freezing rain, where it is below freezing. So all that's going to turn to ice, unfortunately. But yeah, then we do have that activity across Ohio. Indiana got a lot of scattered freezing rain showers, basically, is what's going on here. Up here towards like Illinois, got a little bit of activity here towards Iowa. It's pretty quiet out by Iowa, and of course we do still have a little bit of detection here, but honestly it's relatively light for those areas here. Seems like a lot of the heaviest of it right now is across like Ohio right now, and northern Kentucky is where that's at. Let's go and take a look at the chat here. Sorry, guys. I just have a lot of stuff to talk about, so if I'm not as active in chat tonight, I'm sorry. I'm just, like I said, I just got to keep up with everything. There's a lot going on, severe weather-wise and winter weather-wise, so we kind of need to be on our game today. So if I'm not as active in chat, I'm really, really, really sorry about that. Let's go and look at some of the comments, though. Can you tell me how Michigan looks for the morning? So it depends where you're at in Michigan, because it really does drastically change. Southern Michigan does have a bit of impacts expected. The northern side, not as much. Once again, just depends on where you're at specifically. Areas out there by like Detroit, out there by like Grand Rapids, Lansing, some of those regions, Kalamazoo, could be in for some impacts tomorrow. And of course, right now at the radar, looking at the radar now, not a lot going on. But we are expecting a bit of winter weather out there, a little bit of a sleet and ice and stuff like that. But the good news is that it's not going to be anything super significant for you folks up in Michigan for the most part. However, there will be some impacts for the southern areas here overall. Justin says, wow, 30K viewers. 30K viewers? I think you meant subscribers, but I appreciate that. Said, way to grow, man. Nice. Thank you, Justin. I appreciate that, man. Appreciate it. What about Jackson? Was that Jackson, Mississippi? Or MI? Is that Michigan? That's got to be Jackson, Michigan. MS is Mississippi. Jackson, Michigan. Here we go. Okay, so you're in a winter weather advisory here. Ice accumulation's up to 1/10 of an inch. Which isn't really a whole lot. I mean, 1/10 of an inch can make some slippery sidewalks and stuff like that, but it's really not anything super significant, which is good. Total snow and sleet accumulations up to 1/2 of an inch as well. So impacts are going to be fairly limited for your area, but there will be the possibility out there for some impacts there. Absolutely. Let's see here. All right, we're going to scroll down a little bit here. What's up, Kate? Hope you're doing good. Hello from Connecticut. What's up from Florida? Hope you're doing good. Dawn says it was storming earlier in Frankfort, Kentucky. Yeah, so we do got a little bit of storm activity going on right now between Tennessee and Kentucky. The good news is that at the moment it is clear. What I mean, or I should say clear from severe weather. As of now, these are not actively severe thunderstorms, but they are thunderstorms, which, we're still in that risk. And a matter of fact, like we mentioned, we have a slight risk now for severe weather today. Unfortunately, tornadoes main concern, but knock on wood. Hey, as of right now, we're doing pretty okay. Let's see here. What's up, Tom? Hope you're doing good. Welcome. Let's see here. Kate says, how does Connecticut and Massachusetts look? So it depends on where, because the impacts are a little bit different. But for you folks, there's going to be more snow than ice. For a lot of the upper areas of New England, let me go ahead and switch on back. I'm bad at that tonight. I'm not changing my scenes like I should. Anyways, so yeah, the impacts range. They really do. But there's going to be more snow for you folks up here rather than for areas down in towards like the Mid-Atlantic. Mid-Atlantic's going to be mostly ice, same thing through the Ohio Valley, but it is going to transition to a little bit of snow for you folks out there kind of up north. Like I said, it really just depends on where. I mean, for example, Hartford, Connecticut, between 1 and 4 inches. And then, of course, we have Boston, Massachusetts. Well, this is not really leading a good example, but 1 to 4 inches as well. It does range. Some of these are actually different. For example, this one's 1 to 3 inches. Honestly, a couple of inches, between Connecticut and Massachusetts is kind of in the expected forecast for you folks. So just keep an eye on it. Once again, it just kind of depends on where you're at overall. Proxy says the only time I want ice is in a cool, refreshing drink in the summer. Hey, you know what, Prox? I hear you. I 100% hear you on that. For sure, for sure. What's up, Kyle? Saying hi, Andrew. I'm in Charlotte, Michigan. Let's look at Charlotte, but hope you're doing good, my friend. Welcome. Let's see. Is it Charlotte, I think? Charlotte, Michigan. What just happened? Oh, SPC, thank you so much for joining the Tropical Storm Club. I just heard that noise. I'm like, wait a minute. I appreciate that, my friend. SPC Indiana, thank you for the subscription. Welcome to Tropical Storm Club. I appreciate it. Okay, so yeah, for Jackson, or Charlotte, sorry. Charlotte, ice accumulations up to 1/10 of an inch, which, once again, isn't anything super crazy, thankfully, but it is enough to cause like some slippery sidewalks and stuff. Snow and sleet accumulations up to 1/2 of an inch or so. So, a little bit of impacts, but, it's nothing super crazy, thankfully. Prox said you never need to apologize, Andrew. You're working hard for us. We deeply appreciate it. Thank you, Prox. I appreciate it. Yeah, it's just, like I said, it's a little bit harder for me to go through all the comments today on the chat as much as I'd love to. I love reading y'all's comments and stuff, which I will when I can. It's just, don't be surprised if it's, it takes me a little bit to get to it because, we got a lot of stuff to talk about. Once again, severe weather side of things and winter weather side of things. Everything's happening at once. It's just pretty crazy. But I appreciate it. Thank you for understanding, Prox. Let's see here. Asin says, could there be closings for Metro Detroit? Advisories. Let's look at Detroit here. Total snow and sleet accumulations up to 1/2 an inch. Ice accumulations up to 1/10 of an inch. I think there wouldn't be many closures, to be honest with you. A lot of you folks up north are really used to, winter weather and stuff, which, yeah, ice is not, ice is, no matter where you are, ice is a problem. But, whenever it comes to it, though, I mean, I don't think there's going to be much closures. Don't hold me against that because I'm not too sure. I mean, I'm not familiar with the area very much, but, winter weather advisories don't usually shut down places like winter storm warnings or ice storm warnings do. More than likely, I mean, there could be some delays maybe, but full closures, I don't know about all that. All right, let's see here. Liam, can I check on Mars, Pennsylvania? I think you're about to say Mars for a second. I'm like, I can't look on Mars, my friend. Let's see here, but I can look at Mars, Pennsylvania, since that's on planet Earth, so that's good. Anyway, so you have a winter weather advisory, my friend. Snow accumulations less than an inch, and ice accumulations between 1/10 to 2/10 of an inch. So if we do get upwards of 2/10 of an inch, that is enough to cause power outages and stuff like that. Overall. So keep an eye on it. Snow accumulations less than an inch, so don't expect much accumulations to be visible on the ground. But yeah, I mean, there could be some impacts, and especially if we do get upwards of 2/10 of an inch, then yeah, that could be a problem, and could cause some localized power outages and trees, branches, and stuff like that to be weighed down. Because even 2/10 of an inch could even do that. You'd be surprised at how little amount of ice is needed to create to allow for some of those trees and branches to fall, and even power lines. You'd be surprised with the little amount of ice needed to do that. It's crazy. It really is. Let's see here. Kyle says, thanks, Andrew. Everyone freaks out, but you keep it real. I appreciate that. Like I said, I try to the best I can, man. We keep everything honest here. 100%. Whatever you guys see on my thumbnails is true. I don't ever exaggerate or anything like that. It might seem like it. I know there's a lot of people out there who like to do that, but like I mentioned, there is a tornado threat. There is an ice storm, so everything in the title and the thumbnail is legit. Because, I mean, if you want me to prove it to you, I can literally show you right now. And we go off of the NWS stuff, so this is all from the Weather Service. This is not my made-up stuff, which that's not how we roll here. But anyways, enough of that. What's up, Penny? Hope you're doing good. Welcome. Jazz says some closings possible, not likely. That many close, I wouldn't think. Yeah, honestly, there could be some delays. I mean, there could be some closures for when we were talking about Detroit, but it's better off than if it was like a winter storm warning or an ice storm warning or something like that. But like we mentioned, though, we do actually have ice storm warnings. These folks in the yellow here got to be really, really careful. And honestly, I would avoid travel if you guys are in these yellow areas because, like I mentioned, these are ice storm warnings. These are where we're expecting like heavy amounts of ice to occur. And actually, some of these areas here is going to be seeing a significant amount of icing. I mean, look at this, between 2/10 and 4/10 of an inch on this one we just pulled. I mean, there's going to be a fair amount of ice involved here, between 2/10 to 4/10 of an inch. That's almost a half of an inch of ice. That's a lot. That is a lot of ice. In which that is going to be a problem. In which make sure that you guys are just taking it easy. If I guarantee you, a lot of places are going to be closing in the ice storm warning areas, if they haven't already. Because ice is no joke, of course, as you guys know, and but so just please be careful. Do not travel tomorrow. I mean, honestly, just wait till everything clears up to go back out, just to help protect yourself and everything, because this is just not worth driving in at all. It's especially the terrain here. There's a lot of hills and a lot of mountains and stuff. A lot of inclined terrain, which, with ice and inclinations never mix well, as you can probably imagine. Let's see here. William says, could I take a look at Old Forge, Pennsylvania? Yes, I got you. Old Forge, Pennsylvania. So this area is actually, this is by Scranton. So this is actually in a winter weather advisory. Total snow and sleet accumulations up to 2 inches, across much of the area. Now listen to this: 3 to 4 inches of snow and sleet expected across northern. Is it Oneida? I think it is Oneida County. Ice accumulations up to 1/10 of an inch. Winds gusting as high as 35. So it could be a little gusty too, especially after all of this kind of rolls through. So yeah, just keep an eye on it overall. Let's see here. Oliver says Red Hook High School is closed tomorrow due to bad weather. Gotcha. Let's see here. Average says thunder snow by Indianapolis. Really? Really? I mean, I know there's some instability up towards the region. I didn't know that high, but honestly, it wouldn't surprise me. Would not surprise me. Let's see here. Any news about Kentucky tonight? Yes. So actually, Dustin, we did do a little bit of updates on Kentucky, which we're going to do again. I do need to involve Kentucky once again. Because like we mentioned, it's not just severe weather. Not just winter weather. There's actually that severe weather involved as well. So unfortunately, like I said, we do have now a slight risk, a level 2 severe weather threat across, the central southern side here of Kentucky, a little sliver of extreme northern Tennessee here as well. And the reason they added a level 2 severe weather threat now is because, unfortunately, of tornadoes. We cannot rule out several tornadoes today. I mean, unfortunately, there is that possibility. We do have that 5% chance for tornadoes today across central and southern Kentucky. A little bit of, like I said, northern Tennessee involved here. And then we do have the 2% chance, or the level 1, tornado threat that does extend a little bit further out. A little bit of Virginia included in that, the far southwestern, the Appalachian Plateau of Virginia, essentially, is in that 2% chance. So, across the green, an isolated tornado or two is possible. Across the brown, it's a little bit more concentrated, a little bit more higher probability for tornadic activity. Still a relatively lower end tornado threat, but still it is going to be quite possible that we do have a couple of tornadoes today. So just keep an eye out there for that. And, once again, the main threat for tornadic activity today is going to be across Kentucky and Tennessee, with the heaviest concentrated risk from the Storm Prediction Center being the central and southern side of Kentucky and northern Tennessee overall. So that is where the main threat is. On top of that, we do have a little bit of a wind threat as well. We do have this 5% chance, which, is a pretty low-end wind threat. Actually, this is the lowest end threat we can have for damaging wind gusts. But we're talking up to right around 60 miles an hour on some of those storms. I mean, at the moment, radar's pretty clear. We got some storms, but they're not anything severe at the moment. But, yeah, some of those storms tonight could be quite possible to produce some wind gusts up to right around like 60 miles an hour or so. So that is a possibility. Then lastly, we do have a hail threat here as well. This is something they actually introduced today. Yesterday, there was no active hail threat, but today we do have a 5% chance for hail, ranging Kentucky, Tennessee, bits of West Virginia, a little bit of like southern Indiana, southern Illinois, southeast Missouri is included here in that threat. So yeah, the main thing, though, like we mentioned, is going to be that tornadic threat today. And we're going to be on standby tonight, like we mentioned. I'm going to go ahead and make a thumbnail after we head off this stream. We're not heading off yet, of course, but whenever we do end this live stream, I will go and make another thumbnail and be ready to go live if a tornado warning gets issued. We'll make sure to do coverage. So if you guys haven't already, this will be a good time to turn on post notifications. That way, whenever we do go live, you guys do get notified because, if we do need to go live again today, we'll be able to cover that tornadic activity. So let's hope you don't see me again after this live stream. But if you do, it's going to be because of tornadic activity. Let's see here. Alt says they expanded the winter weather advisory earlier. Yeah, though they added a lot of areas, actually. Yesterday's update, there was not nearly as many places involved here. We got some blizzard warnings up in upper state Michigan here. Let's see here. Got a little bit of blizzard warnings. That's a new one. Blizzard warnings, 2 to 5 inches. But, yeah, a lot of that's just going to be the winds. Blizzard warnings don't always mean super crazy amounts of snow. A lot of the blizzard warning is the wind part, so a mixture of winds and snow creates low visibilities, which you got the blizzard warning. So yeah, heads up to you folks out there too. We also got a little bit of advisories up towards like North Dakota, portions of like northern Minnesota, a little bit of northern Wisconsin. But yeah, I mean we are covered. I mean we are covered in winter weather advisories all the way from eastern Nebraska all the way up to central Maine, which hey man, that in itself, that's pretty crazy. That's a pretty long distance there overall. As in says, will Knoxville, Tennessee be affected? So Knoxville is just outside of the 2% risk for tornadoes. Very extremely unlikely that we'll have any tornadic activity in Knoxville. So I wouldn't count on it, honestly. Yeah, a lot of the tornadic threat's going to be relatively northwest of Knoxville. That's where the main threat's going to be. Of course, you guys can see the brown here. That's the 5% chance. That's the the greatest chance we have today, which with everything being, I mean, it is still a relatively lower end tornadic threat, but it is like we mentioned, it is still it's a lower end, but it's still a decent shot for several tornadoes as possible. But we'll keep an eye on it. We'll definitely keep an eye on it. But yeah, Knoxville is just outside of that. What's up, Isaac? Hope you're doing good. Jazz says, what's the caps rule here? Just curious. As long as you don't do all caps, honestly, you're pretty good. Yeah, I mean, if you capitalize your mess or capitalize each word, I don't care. But if you do like all caps, that's where we kind of draw the line there. Let's see here. Callis says, did Andrew say a buzzard warning? I did. We don't talk about that though, man. Hey, we don't talk about that. Anyways, folks, so let's look at future radar. That's something we have not done yet. So let's go ahead and actually, we're just gonna bring it up here. Why not? I mean, we're just gonna do everything here right now. Let's see here. So let's go ahead and turn. How are we gonna do this? All right, we're gonna go ahead and turn off those warnings and stuff. They're kind of in the way here. We're gonna turn those off. We're gonna go ahead and overlay. Okay, we got that on. We're going to go ahead and overlay the HRRR here. Let's take a look at our latest model run. So I'll give you guys timing and stuff too. I'll let y'all know. So we have the 0 Zulu that's ran. That's good. Got a brand new fresh model coming through. Okay, we're good. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about this here, y'all. So, of course, like we mentioned, while we were looking at the current radar, yeah, a lot of the activity right now, freezing rain and whatnot, a lot of it right now is across, like, southern Ohio. We got a little bit of northern Kentucky here as well currently. This is the future radar, but current radar, if we hop to it real quick, I mean, you can see that it's, yeah, it pretty much aligns up. I was going to turn on winter weather radar. Yeah, a lot of the heavy freezing rain stuff right now is across Ohio and a little bit of like northern Kentucky. But anyways, besides the point. Hopping back here to the models, regarding what we can expect further down in time. So we're going to go ahead and fast forward to midnight here. Okay, so this is midnight tonight Eastern time. This would be 11 p.m. Central time. So around this time, so midnight tonight Eastern, 11 p.m. Central time, around this point in time, we're going to start to get, a lot of the ice, most of it still the heaviest of it across Ohio and whatnot, but also really starting to pick up out there towards like the upper elevations of like the Blue Ridge Mountains of both West Virginia and Virginia. So as we approach midnight, it'll be freezing. There'll be a lot of freezing rain around that point in time, so the ice will really start to kick off across the way. Same thing for portions of Pennsylvania. Once again, the majority of it's still across Ohio. Little amounts out there towards like Wisconsin, Illinois, Indiana, and portions of like southern Michigan here too. So then we're going to go ahead and fast forward a little bit further down in time. So around this time too, we can also see that there will likely be some thunderstorm activity going on as well. That's just going to be over the next several hours. And unfortunately, our tornado threat and stuff like that today is going to be at nighttime. So we're going to have an overnight threat, unfortunately. So I'll try to stay up as long as I can and be on standby with you guys throughout the overnight hours. Because unfortunately, once again, it's going to be nighttime in the middle of the morning when we're having this activity. So just keep an eye out there for that. Anyway, so that was midnight. So then we approach our way. Let's just go ahead and go to 4 a.m. or so Eastern time. So this is 3 a.m. Central. And around this time, we are still seeing some storms out there by Kentucky and whatnot. But at this point in time, we're starting to see a little bit of snow starting to pop up here. Let's go ahead and drag over here real quick. So at this point in time, we're going to probably start to transition into some snow early tomorrow morning. And we'll start to get some snow across like coastal New England. Some areas out there by like New York State and whatnot could be dealing with a lot of that as well. Getting a little bit of snowfall and whatnot. The majority of the region here is going to be, right in like the coastal New England region. A lot of the totals are going to be between 1 and 4 inches of snow. We're not talking an absurd amount of snowfall or anything like that, but we are talking a little bit. But yeah, at this point in time, 4 a.m. Eastern time, 3 Central, a lot of the heavy stuff will be moved from Ohio into Pennsylvania, in which, at this point in time, we're going to be dealing with a lot of sleet, a lot of freezing rain. So the sleet is in this shade of color. I don't know. What would you guys say this kind of color is? It's kind of a interesting color here. So this, this is the sleet, and all this is the freezing rain. And of course, the blue is snow, the green and the, the red and stuff. That's all rainfall. But yeah, 4 a.m. tomorrow, according to HRRR here, we're going to be dealing with a lot of mixture precipitations all throughout Pennsylvania here. And then, of course, we approach, let's say, right around 8 o'clock in the morning or so. At this point in time, a lot of it has rolled out of the Ohio Valley and whatnot here. And, of course, at this point in time here overall, we're going to have a lot of snow, kind of rolling through. We're going to have a lot of snow starting to really pick up across, New England there. And then, of course, still a lot of sleet and freezing rain across, like, Pennsylvania. And around this time, throughout the mid-Atlantic, a lot of it's going to be rain, except some of those upper elevations that might just be cold enough to continue to allow for more ice and stuff to occur. And the good news is that all of this stuff should be relatively out by late tomorrow overall. But you can see, a lot of the Northeast here will be dealing with a bit of snowfall. This is for midnight or sorry, afternoon tomorrow. So this is noon tomorrow. Snow, across the upper portions of, the Northeast and whatnot, and everything's starting to lighten up a bit across like the Mid-Atlantic and, southern New England in general. Let's see here. Jerry says, how much ice for Cleveland? That is a good question. Let's go ahead and, first of all, let's go ahead and overlay our warnings again. But, just wanted to do a little bit of a view to kind of show you guys what was going on out there. So Cleveland, so total ice accumulation is between 1 and 2/10 of an inch. So if you get 1/10 of an inch, it's really not a whole lot of ice. It's enough to cause some slippery sidewalks and stuff like that. Therefore, we need an advisory out there. However, if we get more upwards of like 2/10 of an inch, that's where you start to notice problems. Once you get about like 2/10 of an inch or so, that's where you start to notice issues. Because at that point, that's whenever you do start to have some power outages and, trees coming down, branches and whatnot will start to come down at about 2/10 of an inch or so. Yeah, so keep it out there for that. Please be careful. Upwards of 2/10 of an inch is expected out there towards Cleveland, in which, could be quite impactful. So just keep an eye on it. But thankfully, it's not anything super duper significant. Unlike the areas here for the regions in yellow, like we mentioned, these are ice storm warnings. These are where the heavy impacts are going to be. The heaviest of this winter weather is going to be across, like eastern West Virginia, western Virginia, and, in those upper elevations and stuff overall. And, of course, Pennsylvania and, like, central western Maryland, essentially. Let's see. Chris says, hey, how's it going? It's going pretty good. Hope you're doing good. There's been a lot of hype Tuesday's snowstorm. People saying at least 7 inches of snow possible. Should we take that with a grain of salt since we're still, 6-7 days out? Absolutely. Honestly, you guys know, if you guys have been here for a while, you know how I roll. I don't like to look at accumulations until about, at most, 2 days out. I mean, 3 days out, sometimes we can get an idea, but it's never, I really don't like looking at the accumulations that far out, especially a week out. That's just you just can't do that. I know a lot of people like to do it just to, hype up everything, but realistically, you really can't look at those totals until like a few days before, at most. Honestly, I really like to look at them like the day before. That's when I really, you can really kind of get a good idea of what to expect. But this far out, it's still a little early, in my opinion here. I mean, that's how I've always remained to be somewhat accurate, is not taking everything serious super far out like a lot of people do. So, for example, we do have the storm system rolling through here. Then we got some high-pressure ridging building back into, like, the northern plains and whatnot. And then we've got another little system here. This is for... Okay, so this must be the Clipper or the storm you're talking about, right around the February 10th, February 11th. And if you look at... there is a little bit of consistency there. I will give it that. So there's a little bit of confidence, but if you look at the difference between the last 2 GFS runs, the newest one shows a lot more heavier snow and stuff, while the previous one does not show much at all. That would severely change your snow totals. So that really just answers the question there. It's just way too early to look at that. Way too early. So we're just going to focus on this storm, and of course we do have another little system rolling through here, actually starting for February 7th, February 8th. This is actually the storm we should probably be monitoring. Also, we will definitely be doing updates and coverages and stuff like that on this. But if you guys can see here, February 8th or so. We do got ourselves, a little bit more snow and possibly even some more ice. Now, this has actually been in the models for days. Look how consistent those models are. They've really locked on in, like, the last several model runs. They have really, really locked on. And, of course, not just GFS, but also, like, Euro as well, suggesting it to happen as well. So, yeah, between the February 7th, February 8th, and whatnot, we'll definitely keep an eye on that. But anything after that... we're not going to focus on that right now because it's, in my opinion, a little too far out. Let's see here. How about Sterling, Virginia? Okay, let's see here. So Sterling, I love how I immediately knew where Sterling was. So Sterling, Virginia here. Well, let's see here. So ice accumulations from freezing rain between 1 tenth to a quarter of an inch. So if we get a tenth of an inch, it's two possible scenarios here. If you get a quarter of an inch, that could be power outage inducing, trees coming down, branches and stuff like that coming down, because a quarter of an inch of ice is a lot. That is a decent amount of ice. However, if you get a tenth of an inch, that is enough to cause some slippery sidewalks and stuff like that, but it's not really like a super crazy amount. Mostly, like I said, just a little bit of slippery sidewalks and stuff like that. Jenny coming in with a $5 super chat. Thank you so much, Jenny. I appreciate it. That is greatly appreciated, my friend. Thank you for the support, Jenny. Saying how's it going, or the little sticker. I appreciate that, Jenny. Thank you. It's good to see you. Hope you're doing good. Also, Jenny, if you want me to look at your forecast, I will be more than happy to. Seriously, thank you, though, Jenny. That's greatly appreciated. And welcome. Hope you're doing good, my friend. Hope you're doing good. Let's see here. Is 3 inches an hour a snow a lot? Yeah, that's a pretty decent snowfall rate. 3 inches an hour, that'd be upwards of what, 40, 50 DBZ roughly, if I remember correctly. That's pretty heavy stuff. 3 inches an hour. See, I hope this year is less active in terms of tornadoes. Yep, we can only hope, man. We can only hope. Mark says, I feel like this pattern is going to change and get colder in my area. These models have been flip-flopping. Hey, man, I tell you, we're just in this pattern. It's just, we go in this weird cycle where we get a lot of craziness and then it pulls back. And then we get more craziness, then it pulls back. I've been noticing a lot of that this winter, is that, we've been hit. Whenever we get hit hard, we get hit hard. Or whenever we get hit hard. And then, of course, it withdraws, everything calms down, and then we get hit again. This winter, especially beginning January, was pretty darn crazy. Pretty darn crazy. Anyways. Let's see here. But yeah, no, I hope so. I hope we don't have any crazy tornadic activity this year, unfortunately. That's just... Really hope not. But we'll be here to cover it, of course. When is summer? Not soon enough, Prox. It is not soon enough. I mean, wait, when is, wait, hold up. Doesn't winter end March 21st? March 21st, maybe? Something like that. We still got a little bit to go. February is also a pretty active month, winter-related, so. Jenny says, miss y'all. My job keeps me from being here, but love y'all. Hey, Jenny, it's all right. I understand. I completely get it. But, I really appreciate you stopping by, though, and also really, once again, thank you. I appreciate your support as well. But, hey, honestly, I completely understand that. Completely understand it. Let's see here. Average says, what's the storm next Wednesday in southern Missouri? So that's a little bit far out, considering that's about a week out from now. The only thing, like I said, the thing that we're going to be focusing on right now is, let's see here. So we have the GFS, right? So that's what we're looking at now. So the only thing that we're going to be looking at the moment, guys, is, of course, is this snowstorm here, this snow and ice storm you can see. This is what we're covering now. And then we're going to be also covering this next system here. Anything after that is getting a little bit iffy. I know there is potential for maybe even a third system, but let's just take it one step at a time, okay? We're going to focus on this one. Once this one's out, we'll talk more about this guy over here. This is going to be another winter storm to impact the Ohio Valley and the Northeast and whatnot. Portions of, like, the Northern Plains potentially as well, Midwest. So that'll be between, like we mentioned, February 7th. It looks like late to basically the February 9th. So that's going to be the next storm that we're going to need to look at. But then anything after that is just a little bit too far out overall. Let's see here. But we'll keep y'all posted. We'll keep y'all posted up on it. Let's see. I remember a few years ago we were expected to get storms, so worried about tornadoes. Honestly, yeah. When I was a kid, I used to think that any storm produced a tornado, which is just simply not true. That's how I always used to. That's how I always used to be. Let's see, spring starts on March 20th. Gotcha. I knew it was around there. March 20th. Gotcha. Let's see here. We'll see if the groundhog was right. Okay, here's my little bit of a rant. I'm sorry, but I gotta say this. For all the groundhog lovers, close your ears. Or all the Groundhog's Day lovers, I should say, not groundhog lovers. Groundhog's Day lovers. Have you ever thought to consider that they're taking one day into consideration if he's seen a shadow or not? For example, any time of the year there can be an overcast day and you're not going to see your shadow no matter what. Okay? And then you got days that can be clear. Just determining one day if it's clear or not does not determine the weather pattern in the future. Hey, I'm sorry. That's just how it be. All right, y'all can undo your ears now for the people who didn't want to hear that. But anyways, but yeah. So once again, you guys please be careful out there. We're gonna hop back over to the severe weather threat and whatnot. So if you guys are just tuning in here, once again, we do have ourselves a. So they actually did upgrade to a slight risk here, unfortunately. So the main threat for severe weather is going to be across Kentucky, Tennessee, and a little bit of the lower portions of like Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, West Virginia, a little bit of Missouri, just on the outside in general. But anyways. Now, in terms of tornadoes, like we mentioned, that's going to be the main thing. That's going to be the main thing we need to look out for. There is a possibility, unfortunately, for a couple of tornadoes to occur. So we have the 5% chance across the brown, and we do have the 2% chance across the green here. Okay. So like I mentioned, cross portions like northern Kentucky, central, southern, I said that wrong. Northern or central and southern Kentucky and northern Tennessee. Those are the areas we need to look out for tornadic activity. Now, like I mentioned, unfortunately, this is going to be a relatively nocturnal threat. I mean, it's already nighttime here now. But this is going to be happening here, overnight and into the morning hours. And like I said, I'm gonna stay up as long as I can tonight, guys. And we're gonna be ready to go live because this stream here is just an update live. But we'll go live again if we need to. And I'm gonna be on standby if there's any warnings or anything like that gets issued. We'll be immediately going live as soon as it does. Okay. So we'll be here. I'm gonna be on night shift, y'all. I'm gonna stay up as late as I can. Let's see here. I agree. Just a tradition. Yeah, I know. It's just some people take it way too serious, though. That's the thing. 100% agree. It's been my thought on this for ages. Yeah, I mean, pretty much. Let's see here. Mark says, me thinks that Oak Hill, West Virginia will be missed. Let's see here. You said Oak Hill, right? Oak Hill, West Virginia. Yeah, actually, you're good. You're pretty good. Mark, you're not in any advisory even. You're not in any form of advisory or anything like that. Honestly, yeah, you're going to be pretty good. Let's look at future radar here. Let's see. Yeah, so you can see that this is HRRR, by the way, the Zero Zulu run. You can see that you're going to be in the yellow and green, which is just normal rainfall. And for those upper elevations that's higher up than you are, where it's cooler, the air pressure is lower, and the air is more thinner and whatnot, it's going to be cooler as well. Which, yeah, there's going to be some freezing rain up there. But yeah, Mark, you're good, man. You're good. Shouldn't be a problem for that area. And then, like we mentioned here, guys, is that this is going to transition into snow for a lot of, like, the Northeast here. For the Ohio Valley, the Mid-Atlantic, it's just going to be mostly ice. But it will transition to snow pretty much early tomorrow morning, like 2 a.m. or so, roughly. 2 a.m. or so, roughly, is when it could start to change over into snowfall and stuff. But like we mentioned, there's really not going to be a whole lot of accumulation with that. Upwards of about like 1 to 4 inches is kind of the widespread expectancy on that. So not a whole lot, thankfully. But then, of course, once again, the yellow areas here, guys, these are all ice storm warnings. These are where we're going to have the heaviest winter impacts and stuff. So just need to keep an eye out there for those regions there. But alrighty, everybody. Well, we're probably going to head off here soon. I need to make a thumbnail. We need to be on alert and on standby for the future severe weather event. Like we mentioned, we're going to have what's forecasted. We're going to have a bit of severe weather happening overnight, unfortunately. very late and into tomorrow morning, which just sucks. Any nocturnal tornado threats just even more dangerous because one, it's dark, and two, there's a lot of people that's sleeping. So just make sure you have a way to receive warnings. Turn on your warnings on your phones, and if you have weather radio, make sure you hit that on switch, turn it on. Also, to the channel, turn on post notifications. That way, if we do go live, I can't guarantee I'll stay up during the entire tornado threat, which I probably won't because that's going to go on until like sunrise. But I will stay up as long as I can to cover as much as possible. But right now, like I mentioned, thankfully, knock on wood, there's really nothing going on, no active warnings at the moment. So right now we're chilling. We do got a little bit of storms, like I mentioned, though, popping off, but, nothing severe right now, okay? If we get a severe thunderstorm warning or anything like that, I'm not going to go live for that. But if we do get like a tornado warning or something, then we'll immediately go back live, okay? So hopefully you guys don't see me again tonight, because that would be a bad thing. Prox says, rest well, Andrew. Thanks for you do for us. Keep safe and informed. Proxy, you're very welcome. Once again, thank you for your support. Of course, I appreciate you, Prox. Thank you. Really appreciate it. Smokey says, what time? Man, if I knew when there would be a tornado warning, I would tell you right now. That way you could prepare earlier. I'm not too sure, man, honestly. Whenever storms just pop off, which is expected to happen at any time, really, and go throughout the night, as soon as there's a tornado warning or something that gets issued, we'll go live. Let's hope there's not, because, you never know. But if there is, we'll go live. Okay? Let's see here. Jazz says, thanks, Andrew, to mods. No problem. Jazz, once again, thank you for your support as well. Jenny, you as well. Jenny, Jazz, Proxy, thank you, guys. I really appreciate your support. It's much, much appreciated. Also, SPC Indiana as well for the membership. I appreciate you. Thank you, guys. You guys help keep us afloat. Like I said, couldn't do it without you. So I appreciate you very, very much for the people who have supported us like that. So big thank you. But all right, everybody. Well, that's going to go ahead and wrap it up. If y'all have any final questions before I roll off here, if you have any zip codes, actually, we'll do a couple of zip codes before I roll off here if you'd like. Throw them down the chat. But we're going to be heading off here very, very soon. We typically we typically do an update about an hour long just to go over everything. But if y'all have any final questions, zip codes included, I'll be more than happy to let you guys know what kind of warning you're in. But if not, we'll head off here soon. But if so, we'll head off in about 9 minutes or so at the hour mark. Alrighty, Jenny, I got you. Let's see, 22079 in Virginia. Got a winter weather advisory. Let's go ahead and hop over here. We do have, let's see, mixed precipitation expected. Light glaze of ice from freezing rain coating and a coating of sleet expected. So honestly, Jenny, you're not going to be seeing a whole lot from what it looks like. There might be a little bit of slick spots and whatnot. That is possible. But honestly, Jenny, you're going to be relatively fine. Once again, there could be some slick spots and stuff. But it's not going to be anything super crazy for you. Definitely not like what we're expecting up in those upper elevations there. So just a little bit of ice possible. A little bit of ice. Speaking of, Jenny, thank you so much for another donation. $5 super chat. Thank you, Jenny. Thank you once again for your support. I really appreciate you. Huge shout out goes to you, Jenny. Once again, thank you so much. But yeah, please be careful out there. Like I said, not going to be anything super, super crazy. But I do appreciate you. Thank you once again, Jenny. I appreciate that very, very much. Abby wants me to look at, let's see, 07974. 07974. This is up in New Jersey. We got a winter weather advisory here. Total snow and sleet accumulations up to 2 inches. So, yeah, up to 2 inches of sleet and snow, and ice accumulations up to 1/10 of an inch, which, like we mentioned, 1/10 of an inch can cause some slick spots and whatnot, but typically isn't like super wild, not really enough to cause like power outages or anything like that, but it will definitely make some surfaces slick for sure. So yeah, be careful with that. Once again, Jenny, thank you though. I appreciate that. Gaming says, can New York City see some snow from the first system? From this system? Yes. Yeah. So actually it depends. Let's go straight up into the heart of New York City here. Total snow and sleet accumulations around 1 to locally 2 inches, and ice accumulations around a light glaze. So a light glaze is under 1/10 of an inch. That's not a lot of ice at all. Just a little bit of ice. 1 to 2 inches of snow though is going to be possible. So, yep, New York City will get some snowfall out of this. But, all right, everybody. Well, that's going to go ahead and wrap it up here. Once again, if you have not already, consider leaving a like, hitting that subscribe button, and most importantly, turning on those notifications. Because, like I said, we might have to go back live tonight if there's any tornadic activity. We're going to be on standby. We're going to be ready to go if there's any tornado warnings or anything like that. So we'll be live here to cover those. But also, guys, if you guys could help share this as well, help spread the word, it would be much appreciated. That way we can help out as many people as possible. So if you guys could share this to, Facebook, Twitter, whatever, it would be much appreciated. And that way you guys could, help us out there and make sure that everybody is staying weather aware. And of course, like I mentioned, tonight's going to be a nocturnal threat, unfortunately, which is a nighttime tornado threat, which just makes things a little bit more dangerous and stuff, unfortunately. So we'll be for sure here to cover as much as I can with that. Let's see. Ryan wants me to look at 15136. Gotcha. 15136. And then we're going to head off here, guys. Like I said, we're going to be on standby after this. All right. Pittsburgh, we got ourselves, let's see, freezing rain, ice accumulations, a glaze to around 1/10 of an inch. So ice accumulations relatively mild. Enough just to cause some slippery sidewalks and stuff like that. But honestly, yeah, it's not going to be anything super crazy for you, Ryan. Honestly, you're looking relatively fine. But yeah, just don't be surprised if there is some slick spots and whatnot, but it's not going to be like a super crazy ice storm or anything like that for you. So really not a lot for your region, but a little bit of slippery conditions can be possible. But all right, everybody. Well, thank you guys so much for joining. I appreciate y'all. Stream's going to head off here in approximately 2 minutes. Once again, everybody, thank you guys for joining. I appreciate all of y'all's support today. Once again, thank you so much. Jenny, thank you so much for your support. Proxy, thank you so much. Jazz, thank you so much. SPC Indiana, thank you so much. Everybody, thank you all for the support. Thank you all for hanging out with us here. But all right, everybody. Well, that's going to wrap it up here for now. Once again, we're going to go ahead and go on standby mode. We're going to go ahead and head off here with this stream, and if we have to go back live, we will. But just know that we'll be ready to go live if there is a tornado warning or anything like that issued, okay? All right, everybody. Thanks for joining. You guys take care. Have a wonderful rest of your night. Be careful out there. Stay safe, and we'll catch you all later on. Hopefully not today, but if you do, we'll be here. All right, everybody. Thank you all for joining. Appreciate ya. We'll catch you on the next one. Peace out.